Hey guys, and welcome back to another To Crucible. Today we have done The Last Dance. It's a sidearm, it's from the Vanguard, it's been around for a while, but look at my perks. So, my perks for this guy are appended mag, full auto trigger system, which was clutch, and then Zen moment. And otherwise, it was just some control targeting stuff that you could, mess with the stats a little bit. But I went with full stability because that was the best. And then I had a masterwork range of 10, so it was, unbelievably long distance shooting sidearm. So my overall feelings with this weapon was amazing. I honestly haven't had this much fun in the Crucible in a while, in a really long while. So it was actually really, really, really refreshing to play with this weapon. It was just a really, really good time. So let's talk about usage strategy. So with this weapon, go ahead, use this gun at your will, at your leisure, whatever you want to use it with. If you want to run around with teammates, you'll do insanely well. If you want to run around by yourself, you'll still do pretty good. It does a lot of damage really quickly. So it's kind of a beast. So you got to get to pick what you want to do. You don't have to play a certain way to do well with this weapon just because it is that good. Let's go ahead and move on to the numbers. So for my kills, total kills, I have 376. For my total deaths, I did have 217. So that came out with an average KD through all the games was a 1.95. So 1.95. So very, very close to a 2.0 KD. I had some really good games, and then I had some bad games. Sometimes that's just how it goes. The video that you're seeing more than likely is a 39 and 13 with a 3.0 KD. So that's probably the video that you're seeing right now. I didn't get any of these last games that I had, but the last 3 out of 4 games, I went 28 and 10, 27 and 11, and 30 and 13. So those are all very high 2.0 KDs. So it was really nuts. I was really having a great time towards the very last game, which was a 30 and 13. So it was this gun was pretty good. I did have some bad games in there though. I had 16 and 17, and then 9 and 11. There were games where they ended early, but I still counted them just because, we played a majority of the match. So it was like, you know what, we're still going to count it. We're not going to just favorite the weapon. It is going to get a little bit of a little oof there, but let's go ahead and move on to the actual ranking of this weapon here. So let's go ahead and talk about long range and short range. So long range for a sidearm isn't very far, but it is kind of far with this weapon. Like, this weapon actually does kind of decent at the range in which you should expect this weapon to actually perform well. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7 in long range, just because it actually performed much better than I anticipated at ranges that I could control. So when I would get close range, or when I would get, close enough to start engaging, that's when it felt pretty good. There were times, obviously I'm getting lasered by something completely different, aka Ace of Spades and Hawk Moon. When I'm getting lasered by those weapons, can't do much about it. But other times, it was pretty decent around, that 15-20 meter mark, and that was exactly what I needed to do for long range. So 7 for that. Short range, I'm giving it a 10. It does a lot of damage really fast. If you hit your shots, it's one of those weapons that does outbeat shotguns. When we were talking about the submachine gun, using that thing, it was, gosh, it doesn't do enough damage. It doesn't kill anyone before I get shotgunned in the face. This one does. I mean, if you hit every single shot, you're looking at a 2 burst or a quick, very short three burst. So like you shoot 1, 2, and then that first bullet of the third one gets them. So I mean, it's just, and mine had Zen moment on it, which made it even better. So I'd hit damage, and then it was immediately just 0 recoil, just destroying them. Zen moment's got to be like one of my favorite perks. 1000%. So we're getting a 10 there. Moving on to recoil, I'm giving it a 10. This gun was so easy to control the recoil. It didn't even feel like there was any. Like, to be honest, it just didn't feel like I had to control much. With like hand cannons or with scout rifles, you have that little bump that comes up with the weapon after you shoot it and you have to bring it back down. But this one just felt like it was just point and click. It didn't cause me any pain. Moving on to solo kills. Solo kills, I am giving it an 8. 8, I think, is good enough for the solo kill area. It wasn't the very, very, very best at solo kills. So maybe, I'd get one kill and then another guy would run around the corner and murder me. It just, sometimes it's not the greatest, but that's kind of how it happens. It's not the very, very best, but it is very good as a solo weapon. So it's getting an 8. As a team weapon, obviously it's a 10. When I was running around teammates, we were just obliterating people. It was nuts. I loved it. I loved every second of it. Moving on to effectiveness, this is where we take our total kills, which was 376. Then we add that to the deaths, and then we divide the 376 by the total, which is 593, and then we multiply by 10. And that comes out to be a 6.3. So effectiveness is a little bit shorter than most. I would say just because of the KD. The KD is going to, bring it down just a little bit. But it's around the Gnawing Hunger, and it's around True Prophecy. It's like 0.4 away from them. So that's kind of where we see mostly 6s in there, right? Mostly 6s in our effectiveness. I don't know if we have to tweak that score or what, but anyways, frustration is going to be a 0, and that HTC rank, so the How to Crucible rank for the weapon itself, is actually down to a 51.3. 51.3. No way. It actually is nuts. Okay, so let's go to the sidearms first. So for the sidearms, it is first, obviously, with a 51.3. It's very, very high. This gun's nuts. I had a great time using this weapon. Like I said, it was refreshing. I had a lot of fun in the Crucible. The 39-3 game, I'm actually putting into another video where you just hear me on stream playing through the game, because I really, really enjoyed playing through the game. And then if we move on over to the HTC, if we move on over there, I have to change tabs here quickly. But yeah, so it is actually going to be number 1. God damn, it's number 1. It's nuts. It actually beats out True Prophecy that has a 50.7. This has, a 51. So it's basically almost a whole point higher than the True Prophecy, which is nuts. This gun, it was just really fun. It was easy to use. It did a lot of damage, and it was very reliable. I love Amalon weapons. Amalon weapons are by far my favorites. The Amalon scout rifles are by far my favorite weapon in the entire game. If I get an Amalon scout rifle that is legendary, I've only been getting blue ones, but once I get a purple one, if there is a purple one that exists somewhere, that will become my favorite, just because they shoot fast. They don't do a whole lot of damage, but they shoot fast, and sometimes you can get some nutty perks on them too. Freaking the one that has heavy rounds that makes people jump and lose their recoil and everything. Those ones are nuts. So yeah, but I really love this weapon. It was a really great time. So yeah, let me know what your guys' are in the comments. Let me know what you guys' little second perks are. Your 2 perks are at the end. Mine's full auto and Zen moment again. I think this was kind of like a slight god roll. If I had something a little bit better, I don't know. I didn't really necessarily need the full auto trigger, so I could have had something completely different. So yeah. But yeah, thanks you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are enjoying Destiny. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.